Y'all ready? Y'all feeling all right?
What's that sound?
It's a hip-hop Cloverleaf podcast.
Hip-hop Cloverleaf.
What up? Let's go!
Cloverleaf podcast.
Thank you for tonight. Yes.
You are now listening to the Hip-hop Cloverleaf podcast.
Mic check, mic check. Aha! Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good nights, and welcome back to the Hip Hop Cloverleaf podcast. We are your hosts. This is EC.
What's up?
And it's your boy O.
For today's episode, we're going to be highlighting women in hip-hop. We're going to be going through the history of female MCs. We're going to be highlighting some of the most influential MCs. And we're going to touch on the landscape of today's female MCs. To close out the episode, we're going to be discussing the freestyle battle for today. Remy Ma versus Young M.A.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Hip Hop Cloverleaf podcast. 4 leaves, 4 elements. What's good, EC?
Yes, sir. What's up, man? How are you today?
I'm going all right, man. We are on episode 8, and we are talking about women in hip hop. But before we get into that, we want to thank Tupac GF for sharing her thoughts on Die-Lit.
Man, that's a dope ass that name, by the way. But anyway, she gave us her input on Die-Lit, and we asked her how Die-Lit compares to the rest of his albums. And I want to share what she said. She said, Die-Lit is a whole vibe. Like, it makes me want to rage, concert-wise. But I don't know, Whole Lotta Red is just a new style for him. But I love Die-Lit because of the features on the album, mostly because of Travis and Uzi. It's like an album with his homies. Whole Lotta Red is him working with people he looks up to. I think that's dope as fuck. Mm-hmm. I appreciate input like that because it kind of adds a lot of context to what we're listening to. In this case, you know, Playboi Carti, we're not too familiar with his music, me and O, so
we're getting real reactions from real fans.
Yeah, and I really like that. I really like that. She also said people will always love Die-Lit more than Whole Lotta Red because it was so delayed and everyone wanted the leaks more than his music. I think we touched on that. I remember O saying that kind of adds to someone's perception of an album coming out. And she said his new style is just him being more creative, expanding his mind, but a lot of people hate on the album. And truly, I think it's more like social media making people hate so much on new vibes because they're so hung up on the old ones and can't seem to be okay with an artist wanting to grow and expand their music.
That's deep.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I think that's true for a lot of different artists as well. She also said, everyone just wants Carti to have the same beats, the same lyrics, the same style, but that's old Carti. Like, people always got to be pressed about something. The man wanted to perfect the album, but his fans, quote-unquote fans, pressuring him or making him drop it is probably the reason why his songs are mid. Because he just needed to put something out, if that makes sense. I appreciate Tupac's GF for your input, for real. Like I said, it adds context. I remember saying this last episode that album did get a lot of hate. It got a whole lot of hate from Carti fans themselves. That was a big thing that I remember when this album came out. I want to tune in, man. I want to tune in. Now that I've listened to Die-Lit, I want to tune into Whole Lotta Red. I don't know, maybe down the line we'll do a review about it, but I'll listen to it. I'll get to it. Shout out to all the listeners, man. There were a couple other responses. Thank you all for responding and interacting with us. I think it's cool having those kind of conversations, and that's what we're all about. That's what we want to do. That's our goal. So, thank you. What month is it today, man?
What month it is? It's now March, so it's Women's History Month.
Yes,
and
sir.
We wanted to give a shout out, and we thought it'd be a great idea to start an episode dedicated to women in hip hop. So we're gonna take it back to the beginning. The very first woman to ever grab the mic, her name is Sha-Rock, and she is known as the mother of the mic. She's the very first female to ever spit, and she was actually a part of a group called the Funky 4+1. She was the one in the group because she was the very first woman. The group made their very first television debut on Saturday Night Live back in February. It was Valentine's Day, actually, of 1981, and the Funky 4+1 were the first group ever to step stage on television. One thing that stood out from the group was that Sha-Rock was never looked as, she was never anything different. Mm-hmm. She was looked at as an equal to the group, and that was pretty dope. Just looking back at that.
Wait, so you said she's the one?
Yeah, so the Funky Four plus one. So there's four of the guys in the
Oh,
group.
so those 4 guys, and she was
Yeah,
the one female.
she was the
Oh,
one
okay,
female.
okay.
Yeah,
I get it
yeah.
now. I get it now. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and then some of the other early women MCs are MC Light, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Lauryn Hill, and those ladies really shaped the way that hip hop looks today, and we're gonna get into that.
All right, man. So I just want to touch on some of the most influential MCs in hip hop history, man. And some of these women over here, they're a lot of people might not know who they are because it's just it depends who's listening. If you're a younger dude like us or even younger, you probably won't recognize these names. But I think it's important to highlight them just because of the impact that they had in the culture and the things they've done. So it's important to highlight them. So first, we're starting off with MC Light. She was the first solo female rapper to release a full-length album, and it was in 1988 called Light as a Rock. So you spell MC Light Lyte. And she was also the first female MC to be nominated for a Grammy. That's huge, man. That's huge. Yeah, and it was for her 1993 Roughneck.
Was that an album or?
It's actually a song. It was a single.
Okay, gotcha.
Single.
MC Light, Roughneck.
Yeah, Roughneck. In recent years, she's called for the reinstatement of the female rap solo category in the Grammys. And her reasoning behind that, she says, it destroys hip-hop culture to not have the perspective of a woman. There's a quote that she has said before. There may have been times when promoters didn't want to pay me what I deserved. And the lineup, they didn't want to put me where my songs warranted me going. But none of it affected me to a degree to where it mattered. There may have been some setbacks, but I never let that get to me. She was a warrior. I would say even more back then, they're not seen as equal as men when it comes to, they get paid less, and
that's not even in the music industry. It's just in the workplace
in
as
the
well.
workplace as well. Yeah. So you can imagine even back then how bad it must have been. The next female I want to highlight is Queen Latifah.
Dude, I really like Queen Latifah. She was, to me, and not only to me, but to others, she was more than an MC. She was also on the big screen. A songwriter, singer, an actor, and a producer. She wasn't just heard. She was seen, and she was doing a lot of things behind the scenes. The big screen gave her a visual. The topic she would refer to would be a lot of the things that a black woman would struggle with. Things like domestic violence or relationship problems, and even harassment in the streets. Another thing that separated her was she could sing, and then she could also rap. I know in today's hip hop, that's not uncommon. She was a member of the Native Tongues, which was a collective that started in the 80s, early 90s, and they were known for their positive-minded and good-natured Afrocentric lyrics. They were known for their use of diverse sampling, so that was a really cool feature about them.
So the next female we want to highlight, her name is Monie Love, and she actually was also a part of the Native Tongues. That's where she met Queen Latifah, and they were really close. They were really tight. She is a British rapper, and she joined the collective in New York after she collabed with Queen Latifah on a song called Ladies First. So shout out Monie Love. Another artist, and actually this is a duo, Salt and Pepper. The real names is Cheryl James and Sandra Denton. Cheryl is Salt and Sandra is Pepper. And we can't forget their DJ Spinderella. And they're a group from Queens. They formed in 1985. Their style was all about like having short shorts, tight shirts on, and they ruled that sex positive image in the 90s. And they were very revolutionary. They had an impact not only in their music, but also in their style and the way they moved, the way they portrayed themselves. They were really frank and honest in their lyrics with what they wanted and their sexuality. While at the same time, they were also demanding respect in their lyrics. They would preach feminist values and just speak out against abuse and assault and discrimination against women. That alone just puts them in a different space, The next female MC is Bahamadia. She's one of the most prominent MCs in Philly. So if you're from Philly, you definitely know her name and you know what she's about. She actually started off as a producer, and she was inspired by Salt and Pepper and Lady B. She was very smooth with the flow and the lyrics. Her album called Collage, it dropped in 1996, and many consider it as a classic album, as a classic hip-hop album. And that album is actually the very first LP that was co-produced and entirely written by a female MC. So that alone...
Bahamadia.
Yeah, that's crazy. That album is actually full of jazz and soul influences, and that it really captures that Philly sound. So if you're from Philly, you definitely know what that sounds like. Next female is Foxy Brown. Facts with Cleopatra. She entered the rap scene at just 15 years old, man. That's crazy. She won a talent contest in Brooklyn where a production team called Trackmasters, they were in the audience. And so they discovered her there and they invited her to come work with them. And they were actually the production team that were working on LL Cool J's album at the time. I forget what that album's called.
Is it Mr.
Oh,
Smith?
it's called Mr. Smith. Yeah. So she was actually featured on that album. She was on the remix to a song called I Shot Ya. And eventually she was signed to Def Jam in 1996. And she became very influential and went on to have a legendary career. The next female is Missy Elliott, man. We all know who Missy Elliott is, man. She's from the South. She did some early work with Jodeci, Genuine, and Aaliyah. She was a childhood friend of Timbaland, the producer. Her debut album was Super Duper Fly. He actually produced the whole thing. So them two, they're a powerful duo, man. They're like Batman and Robin, pretty much. They became a legendary duo, a very dynamic duo. I remember seeing some interviews of them talking about themselves, and it's crazy the chemistry that they've had together. And it just brings out, it really reflects in the music that they came out with. There's a song called The Rain, which was a super smash from her with a crazy, crazy video. And she was always known for having crazy videos, crazy visuals, that unorthodox style, her loud outfits, that crazy hairstyle. It just fits perfectly with what Timbaland does on the boards. And his production style really, really just reflects that. It's crazy. It's crazy how much these two go together. Her single off her third album called Get Your Freak On, that's probably one of her most notable songs. That song is very well known and one of the most enduring hits ever. So yeah, man, shout out to Missy Elliott. The next female is Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu, man, I could spend a whole episode talking about her, but I just want to give a brief intro to her. She came out with her album called Baduism in 1997. That was her debut. And she was actually known to do that neo-soul type of genre. And man, her voice, it's just amazing, man. I really love Erykah Badu. She has that really high-pitched, like thin voice, but the thing she does with it is just crazy. I would suggest to go check out her music, man. She's really dope. I find it hard to describe her music, honestly. It's that old 70s and 80s influence, but with her own twist to it. And again, that voice just adds so much to it. And so her music is kind of like, you can find elements of the funk and the soul and some R&B in there, but at the same time, like I said, she mixes that old school vibe to it. It's hard to describe, but you just need to listen to it. And she ain't just rap or R&B. She's like in every genre. I swear, you can go to her catalog and you can find music that fits every single, like not every single genre, but like a whole lot of different genres. It's not just R&B and rap. And yeah, man, seriously, she's good, man. Next queen I wanna highlight is Nicki Minaj. She's the most recent out of all these, the newest, I would say, newest artist out of all of these that we just mentioned. But man, Nicki, she's been very, very influential, man. She's from Queens. So from our generation, we kind of witnessed her come up pretty much. We witnessed her, I remember her getting signed to Young Money, coming up with Drake, Lil Wayne, and that they did a whole album together. It was the Young Money album. I remember that. And that's when she had just came onto the scene. But man, I want to talk about one thing that when you think about Nicki Minaj, I think one thing that's going to go down in history is that Kanye verse he has, man. You know what verse I'm talking about?
The Kanye verse?
Yeah,
Which
it's
one?
the one on Monster. Dude,
Dude, so Kanye wrote that?
No. She wrote that shit.
Okay, that's what
Yeah. No, she wrote that shit. And that's the thing. Like, she wrote that whole thing.
Her verse on Monster,
Yeah, and that's been considered as the best verse. A lot of people would say that best verse on that song, and a lot of people are saying one of the best verses on that album.
killed
But
it.
yes, this verse alone just puts her in a different category. And to think this was back in 2010, I believe, and that's when she was barely signed to Young Money. I think she signed in like 09 or something like that. She's got bars, man. She has that charisma in her style. She has that appeal, man. She was made to be a superstar.
For real.
Yeah. She has that stardom power. She's always had that. And even from the beginning, the Young Money days and way before that, I remember seeing old freestyles of her back in New York where she's from. She used to do some freestyles, and I've seen some on YouTube where before she was huge. And man, she could really spit. She's always been like that. And to me, she's kind of like the queen. Yes, there's a bunch of legendary artists, but for me, she's like the one female MC that's gonna hold a really high place for myself, just because she grew up in my era, and I witnessed that firsthand. And all these other queens that we've talked about, either I wasn't born yet or I was really young, so I didn't really feel that impact. But I got to give much credit to Lil Wayne and the Young Money, man, for kind of guiding her and allowing her to blossom in her career. 10 plus years in this game already, so yeah,
Time flies, man.
Time flies, man. That whole camp is legendary. Shout out to Young Money, man. They're very, very influential. Very influential.
Some of the other people we did not mention is Lil Kim, Beyonce, Lil Mama, and Shauna. Those are some other voices that we've heard that we didn't talk about, but they still hold their place in women's MC.
Yeah, man, and in hip hop, there's a lot more female MCs that are just legendary. They've had a great impact. So we can we'll spend like a whole day just talking about it. But just for time purposes, these are the ones we picked and we wanted to highlight. So of course, there's a lot more out there, but I would really suggest to go out there and do your own research, man, and check out what these women have done. A lot of people don't hold women in the same regard as they do some male MCs. So we just want to highlight them, man. Shout out to all the females.
We're going to talk about the landscape of today's female MCs. Right now, who do you think's got who's got the throne right now for women? What do you think?
The throne? Shit, man. Just kind of coming off the last segment we just did, I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to say my choice, and then the choice I should say. My choice, I think it's Nicki Minaj. I think she still holds it. I don't care. She's still around, so as long as she's around, she's gonna hold it. Mm-hmm. But if we're really being real, like, she hasn't been too active as much as these other new female MCs. So right now, I would either give it to Cardi B or Meg.
Yeah, I think Meg has it. I think, and she's the hot girl. She's got all the hot girls standing up and doing hot girl shit all summer. Yeah. The city girls too. I don't think they have the throne, but they're up there. And we can't forget Queen B.
Beyonce.
Yeah, she's also.
But she ain't really rap though.
She don't rap, but she is.
She don't rap at all.
Hip hop. No, she don't rap. Yeah, she does. She has.
When has she rap?
Diva. She's got that Diva song.
She raps on there.
I
haven't listened to that.
So maybe not the queen of rapping, but she's
still a queen.
Yeah,
she's still
for sure.
I mean, her husband is considered as king of rap. So kind of gives her that title.
Right.
Man, you know who's my favorite female MC out right now?
Who?
It's Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
I don't think nobody can fuck with her lyrically. Nobody. Nah. I think the thing she does on the mic is crazy. She's even better than some male MCs, if we're being real.
I think Riri's got some. She hasn't put out nothing.
Rihanna?
Yeah.
She ain't hip hop.
What do you mean?
She raps.
She's in hip hop. She don't have to rap to be in hip hop.
Nah, you gotta rap to be in hip hop. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
I mean, I guess she does hooks for hip hop, so that's cool. I mean, all right, you can include her. That's fine. I like Rihanna though. I like Rihanna. What do you see for the next couple years in the female landscape? Like, do you think Meg is really gonna climb that and stay on top for a while? Do you think someone else is gonna take over? I mean, Cardi B has been popping for a few years now.
Yeah, I thought she had it back in like 2017, 2018 when she came out with her album that won over Invasion of Privacy. She won rap album of the year that year.
I don't remember.
I think she did. And I think a lot of people were pretty upset about that. But
okay, now I remember.
Yeah.
What do you think about Meg Thee Stallion? Do you like her music? Have you listened to a lot of her music?
I've listened to a couple of her songs, but it's not, I don't know, it's just not for me personally. I mean, I see why a lot of girls listen to her, because she has the attitude. She doesn't care what you think, right? She's just gonna say whatever it is, however she's feeling, and she's gonna be looking good doing it. And I think a lot of girls like that, and they'll follow that, and they'll listen to that. So I don't think she's going anywhere.
Okay. This list we have right now: Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, City Girls, Young M.A, and Rhapsody. As far as like the rappers. So out of these, what would you rank as far as like rapping wise? Who raps the best and who raps the worst?
I would say
that's why I didn't put Beyonce Rihanna.
Yeah, okay. As far as rapping, okay. I would Rhapsody first, then Meg, Cardi, and then the City Girls.
City Girls. Who? I know who the City Girls are. Do you know their names? There's two of them, right?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Man, City
JT
Girls.
and Young Miami. JT, that's what.
JT. Yeah. Young Miami. That's the other one.
Yeah.
When I think of City Girls, I think of Too Short, just because I feel like they make that type of music. I haven't listened to a whole lot of their music, honestly, but I just feel like they do some ratchet shit.
Yeah, they don't care.
That kind of music, yeah, like some Too Short type shit. So I like that. That's pretty cool.
All right, so we're going to get into the freestyle battle. And for the rest of the episodes in March, what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 MCs and we're going to have them go head to head in the freestyle battle. And you, the listeners, are going to tell us whose verse was better.
Yay.
So we'll be posting the 2 freestyles throughout the week on our socials. So make sure you guys check those out. And then we'll post a poll at the end of the week so you guys can vote for the winner.
We will share who won the battle via our socials after the poll votes are in. So make sure to check out the freestyles and listen to them and then give your input on them. So who we got for the first battle, man?
So for the very first battle, we have Remy Ma versus Young M.A.
Yay. So let's get it, man. All right, let me give you a little intro of who they are in case you don't know. So Remy Ma, she's from the Bronx. She was discovered by Big Pun. Big Pun took her under his wings back in the day and was her mentor. She joined the Terror Squad, and that's what she's most known for. That's Fat Joe's group. And she's also the wife of an elite MC, Papoose. And this dude is hella underappreciated, but we'll get into that later episodes. And then we have Young M.A. The M.A. stands for Me Always. M.A. No period after the A. She's been nominated for BET and MTV Artist of the Year awards, and she's also been nominated for Female Hip Hop Artist of the Year. And she's most notable for her smash single, Ooh. Let's start it off.
Remy Ma's freestyle. So first it was the Nas beat. That's what kicked it off for me. I was thinking, all right, she's got to come hard.
Yeah, for real.
Then I think she said she wrote it within a matter of minutes.
By the way, these freestyles are both with Funkmaster Flex.
Shout out Funk Flex. Flex, baby. She wrote it within a matter of minutes. So to me, that was like, oh shoot. And it was like what, 3-4 minutes long. So to do that in quick time, it was crazy.
Yeah.
She was talking about the chess match. She's like, you playing chess and I could just flip the table off the board. I was like, oh. She's like, I'm gonna give it to you straight with no chaser. I was like, oh shoot. And she had a sophomore. She's like, what's her sophomore line? She's like, you a sophomore, you soft. I was like, oh, I don't even remember how she said it, but that shit was crazy. And then she's talking about her awards at the end. Yeah. It just took it from me.
Yeah, Remy Ma's was a lot longer than Young M.A.'s. Well, maybe not a lot longer, but it was longer for sure.
Well, Young M.A. also had 2 different verses. So I was like, well, she had 2 different
beats, yeah.
Right.
2 different beats.
So that was pretty cool. I like she started off with she said I'm a queen with the K, something with the kings. Oh, because it was a Casanova beat, right?
Yeah, it was a Casanova beat, yeah. I'm so Brooklyn, yeah, it was that song. That song's hard with Fab.
And she said it's that Take It because it's that Brooklyn shit. I don't know, I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
What about you? Would you like?
Oh shit, man! On the Remy Ma, there's a few bars that I wrote down that were pretty hard. Again, it started off with that Nas beat, the New York State of Mind, and shit, man. That's one of my favorite lyrical performances ever, and it's classic Nas beat. So right off the top, if you're coming on a Nas beat, you gotta kill that shit. And honestly, she did. Remy did. A couple lines that I liked. Bitch, I'm so insecure. I wrote this on the way here. It was a pretty long ass verse, and just to write, I don't know how long the car ride was, but shit, I'm sure she knows how to write. Yeah. Man. Another line she said, "Y'all bunch of old birds, y'all gray goose." That's a pretty hard line. She had an Akon line on there where she was kind of talking about, because she did time in jail too. She was in prison, and I remember back in the day with Fat Joe, that was like a big thing, and when she came home. I don't know. It was a big thing. So I think that line was dope. It was dope as fuck. I forgot exactly how it went. I didn't write it down. Another line was, yo shit weaker than Sunday to Monday. Play on words, yeah, weaker. That's pretty hard. She mentioned Hove. She said, had Hove on the remix, I Am Nice. I think the way she freestyles is dope, but big reason why she's really good, I believe. And I'm not trying to discredit her at all. But the fact that she's married to Papoose, bro, I think that just adds more to it. It's like, I believe, I think that they'll be freestyling every now and then just by themselves, you know, just kind of,
that's probably how to
keep them on the toes. And man, Papoose, I don't know if you listen to him a whole lot, but that guy's crazy with the bars. And actually in that same freestyle, he freestyled right after her, which is pretty cool.
I can imagine if they get in arguments, they start
rapping. Just start battle rapping, that'd be crazy. And then for the Young and May, again, the Casanova beat is hard as beat. But one thing I did notice on her, especially on that beat, it was less aggressive than Remy.
Right.
It was more of a calm tone, and to me, I think that kind of softens it a little bit. But it's all right. It's all right. And the second beat, she was kind of like teaching. She was like spitting game. Like she wasn't being as braggadocious as she was on the first beat. She was kind of more like spitting game. Right?
Yeah.
So I want to highlight a couple lines from Young and May too. She has some dope lines. One was, that's Queen with the K because I'm a king too. That's pretty hard. Another line. Anyone want to bet? I put my hundreds where your pennies at. That's pretty hard.
Either you gang or you gaining. Because she was talking about starting a business. I was like, oh shoot, I like that bar. That's a good bar.
Or you gaining. Oh, I get it. But overall, all right, man. So who do you got? If this was a battle, like if this was a freestyle battle, who won?
Definitely going with Remy Ma on this one, but I'm not discrediting Young and May from her bars. She's got bars. She's got bars. She's got bars. I like it, but if we're comparing these two, I would definitely say Remy Ma. Who you got?
I agree. I'm gonna go with Remy just because she spit better. She had harder bars, and her aggressiveness was better. I would say. So I think just overall, she won. And you know what? When doing these type of this freestyle, obviously these freestyles aren't battle freestyles. Like they went up to Funk Flex and just freestyled, right? So and the way we're putting them against each other, obviously it wasn't the actual battle where they're dissing each other, you know. So that kind of makes it hard to kind of, I don't know, to kind of fairly just judge them. But I mean, that's all we can do. They haven't really battled each other, so we can't choose those battles. I like both for sure. I think you know what's crazy? It makes me think Young and May when she had that song with Eminem.
She did,
just recently. Yeah, and that's crazy because I would have never thought that combo together
ever.
And I think when that happened, that was when I really started like digging into Young and May's like older catalog. I was like, oh, she actually can spit. Like, she's actually pretty good. I always thought, like, I don't know, I never listened to her much, but I always thought, like, she can't really spit much.
I like her voice and her confidence that she brings. I think that's really good.
For real, man. Young and May, man. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. All right, man. So you heard what we thought, but who cares what we thought? We're not the judges. It's going to be you guys, the listeners. So make sure you listen to these freestyles because you guys are the judges.
So we're going to put up a poll on our social media accounts. We're going to put both freestyles up and you guys are going to be the judges and you're going to pick the winners.
And like I said, the next episode, we're going to have a different battle. And then the episode after that, we'll have a different battle. So yeah, man, stay tuned.
That was our show where we highlighted women in hip-hop by giving you a little bit of history of the female MCs. We also highlighted some of the most influential MCs in the game, and we talked about the landscape of today's female MCs. We also had the freestyle battle between Remy Ma and Young and May, where you guys are the judges. We're going to see who won. Subscribe to our podcast if you like what you hear. Make sure you recommend it to your friends and fams or anybody who might be interested, and check out our website, hiphopcloverleaf.com.
For the next episode, we're going to have another battle, Lil Kim versus Nicki Minaj. Before we get out of here, I want to shout out all the hip-hop heads. I want to give a shout out to all the listeners and all the followers. Thank you guys for rocking with us, man. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all. I want to give a shout out to all the beautiful women out there. This is your month. This is your day. So we're going to be signing off now. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with us, and we appreciate that. This is Hip Hop Cloverleaf. Peace.
It's easier now.